last night. You're trying to follow Reddick. You've guarded Butler a number of times. How is that for you? That kind of difference that you have to be defensively.
Shows my versatility. Makes me feel good when I can say that. Whatever it takes to win and whatever it takes to help my team win. JJ is unbelievable. He got hot and got going, and then you got a guy like Jimmy where you want to keep him inside, keep him outside the three, and JJ inside the three, and Tobias those guys are good. For me, it's just being able to help my team win in every different aspect on that end, not offensively but defensively, and I think that's where games are won defensively.
Kyle, you knew Mark back from Memphis, and now you've been a teammate again. What is he like as a defender? What have you maybe appreciated that you didn't appreciate first time around, or learned up close?
When we were together, we were so young that we were trying to figure it out, and he didn't know if he was going to be a defensive guy, offensive guy. We all, it's kind of one of the things where you just don't know who you are yet, and I think the appreciation that I've learned from him is just his professionalism, his approach, his every day. He doesn't care about anything but winning, and he does whatever. I mean, Mark's hasn't had a big scoring game, but maybe once since he's been here, and he's been effective on our team. It's contagious on his, the unselfishness, his defense, his, rotations, his smarts. Just everything has been effective. Effective on our team, and that's the appreciation you get from a guy like him. And you just see what he brings to the table every day.
I mean, you've attacked him as an opponent.
Yeah.
How difficult is this? How difficult challenge is he as a defender?
When Mark's Mark's up in the screening role and engaged, he's got some of the best hands. I've played with Chuck Hayes, and Marc Gasol has had some of the best hands I've ever seen defensively as bigs. And Mark's, when he's up, he's going to get his hand on his ball. He's smart. He's going to know his positions. He's going to know the rotations. He's going to get to the right spots. And he's a big, strong body. Mark is 7 feet, big man, and he's able to do his job at a high level.
Kyle, how do you feel about your Game 1 performance in this series compared to your Game 1 performance in the last series?
We won the game. That's the difference. And we won the game, and I scored a few more points.
In terms of how this team is fitting together, Kyle, and just in terms of reading each other and knowing what you want to do and what you want to run at different times, how have you seen the progress as it's going along?
I think the ability for us to be able to lock in on one team has helped us. With the Magic, we were able to lock in, and then with the Philadelphia 76ers, now we're able to lock in on just them. It helps us tremendously because we can figure out where we want to be, how we want to play it, what the rotations are going to be, what we would like to do, what we would like to stay away from. I think that's helped our team, and it's just given us more time to figure out, okay, this is tendencies, right? These guys got all-stars. These guys are really, really, really good. And you got, there are some tendencies that they have, and that's where you try to figure out what we as a group, with our group, it's like, all right, what are their tendencies? How do we, take away their tendencies, or how do we be proactive to their tendencies, not reactive?
That's still a hard thing to just be able to adjust in the game. Like, what about this team kind of allows you to?
Our team? Yeah. I think we're really smart. I think our starting five. Our group overall our group overall IQ is really high. I think our starting five might be honestly up there with any other starting five high IQ wise. Honestly, just gives us an advantage to be able to figure it out and be able to communicate it. And I think that's one thing I didn't say. We were able to communicate what we want to do verbally and physically a lot easier.
At the same level as each
Yes.
other.
Yeah.
How much did Mark change that communication up?
A lot. I think just his talking, and he's a defensive player of the year at one point. You got 2 defensive players of the year guys on your team. Just knowing opponents, studying the habits, knowing rotations, being there, it makes it a lot easier to help and talk and to not have to, do this, that. Make sure we have a coverage, we can switch it, we could do this, we could do that on the fly, really easy.
Now, I know winning's your number one thing, but playing Philly, we know your affinity for Philly. Is it any bigger of a deal? And have you heard from a lot of people from Philly?
Nah, man. I'm keeping this as strictly business as possible. It's definitely Philadelphia, but they're not. It's the opponent right now. It's the enemy, and that's all that really matters. It's about my team right now, Toronto, and that's all that really matters is us getting better every game, every possession that we possibly can.
What game one do you think you can improve on as a team?
A lot. We had a lot of breakdowns. Honestly, we had a lot of breakdowns. We watched the film. There's things that we can adjust and we will adjust to and try to be a little bit better on. And I'm not going to tell you because, there's things that we need to keep in-house, but we definitely could do a better job in a lot of areas, and that's where, we're confident that we can make adjustments. And we know Philadelphia's going to come out and make adjustments, but we have to try to, make the adjustment before they make their adjustments and go and play.
Will you tell us what you think Philly will adjust?
What I think Philly will adjust on? No, I won't. I mean, we have some thoughts on what they will adjust. We think they'll do, but I'm not gonna tell you, Doug. Your awesome outfit, 1946 NBA shirt. I like you and all, but your chucks look good on you, but I can't give you our secrets, Doug.
I got it.
Al, do you think that Pascal is still maybe underrated, or that he, not underrated, but maybe the defense underestimates him?
No, I mean they shouldn't. Just being honest, I don't think they should anymore. I don't think they underestimated him for a while now. I think he's just that good that you can try to take away this and take away that, but he figures it out. And the one thing he still does the best in the league is run the floor. You can't stop that. You can't stop the way he runs the floor. And what are you going to do? Grab him half court and it's a foul. I mean, that starts him alone. His transition running. He gets out and goes, and then figure it out after that. So by the time he's catching the ball, sometimes he's catching the ball on the box with 22 seconds left. It's kind of hard to stop a guy like that with 22 seconds, 19 seconds on the shot clock because his pace is so good.
Fred was talking about him even trying new stuff, maybe even new spots on the floor during the surprise. I mean, this evolution is still happening, even on this stage.
He's only been playing basketball 7 years, something like that. So that ceiling's unbelievably high, and the information he can intake is still a lot more in his brain that he can put in there. It's a lot of things that he can watch film and get better on. I said, this time of the year, it's like everything's slower. Everything's a little bit focused on one team, one situation. You're not flying all over the place. You're going home. You're going other shit. And I think that's one thing where this time of the year is he can get better because he has that time to be able to focus on, this or that or see what's going on.
What about his skill set allows him to like not just try new shots in games, but just kind of expand his game as quickly as he has?
I don't think he's trying new shots. I think he's just adding in what he's worked on this summer, right? And I think he's working on certain things that teams are trying to take away from him in the playoffs. Just being in the playoffs, game one, whatever. Orlando was trying to do this, and game two he switched it up and did this. So it's not what he's trying; it's things he's worked on all summer that he's able to incorporate now because these are things that they're taking away or these are things that they're giving him.
When you see Kawhi go off, the way he did, you guys almost try not to just watch him because he's just dazzling everybody. You know what I mean? You got to play the game, but you get almost mesmerized.
You try to just make sure you help him as much as you possibly can. And if that's screening the right way, if that's rolling, if that's calling the play for him, if that's helping him on defense and helping him save some energy, you try to help him and help the team no matter what in any type of situation, source of whatever you can do. If you got to get out and take his man for a second or screen his man or, back cut just to get him open, those are situations where you try not to get, that's where you help him at. You don't help him by just standing and watching. You help him in other aspects.
Have you ever seen anyone make the game look as easy as he did in that game and also the Orlando, I guess, game two?
I was saying this. I had one other game that I've seen like that, and that was Yao Ming. We played Portland game one. He was like 12 for 12, and he missed a shot. It was crazy. It was unbelievable. It was just an easy game. And I don't think yesterday wasn't easy for Kawhi. Like, it's not easy. He got to his spots. He made some threes. got to the free throw line. His pace is unbelievable. It's not easy. And, you know, Philadelphia tried their best. They did. Kawhi just made shots, and he was aggressive. And we did what we were supposed to do. But that's why I said it's only one game. We got to go out there and execute in game 2. Well, sorry, you right? Up, Nick Nurse ready. Thank you, guys.
After Washington tape, I guess everything with you guys starts on the defensive end. Why was Marc Gasol even more effective last night against Joel Embiid than maybe he has been in the past? I think Joel didn't throw only one shot in his game 4.
Well, he did a good job. Obviously, I think you know, we've got some things that we like to do prior to a guy like Embiid getting the ball. Mark does those well, and so do the other guys, right? So there's a lot of little things that are going on out there before Embiid gets it, and then after he gets it, we try to you know, provide a little less space maybe than he would like to have. So I think again a lot of credit to Mark, and I think still Serge goes out there and changes the look and fights him pretty hard as well, and is quick, and that's 2 tough guys to deal with, but the team defense is still kind of what it's all about.
In your years on the staff with Casey, and last summer night, so you've seen the work Pascal puts in summers. Can you walk us through the evolution? What kind of work and talk about things that he gets in those summer months?
Well, I think the first one, Doug, you always have to talk about is the work he did on his shooting, right? Again, I get my years mixed up here a little bit, but I think it was the day after the Washington series. That literally the next day, you know, kind of him coming in and saying, "Listen, I need to learn how to shoot," and we literally, you know, walked him down to square one and 3 feet from the basket, and you know, tried to explain the process. It's not easy for anybody to change, you know, their mechanics, their form, or whatever, and teach him the process of why it was important, and those. Anyway, he just took that, like, you know, as wholeheartedly as he could take it at that stage, right? Like, you know, this requires X amount of shots from 3 feet, which is a lot, and then from 8 feet, and then from 12. You know, this is a gradual buildup of trying to change your, you know, they call it muscle memory, right? And so that was where it started, and he just did that like doubly every day, you know, for that whole next summer. So you knew that there was a guy that was deeply hungry to become as good as he could become. And then I just think it, you know, just started translating to other things, you know, and then I think that last year's second unit, you know, raised his confidence, and we gave him a lot of consistent minutes, and we, you know, gave him some freedom to do a lot of things, and we were kind of waiting on the shooting to hit. You know, you recall me several times this year, early in the year, talking about, listen, this guy can shoot, man. His mechanics are good, and he's putting in the work, and he makes them like crazy. It's gonna happen. So it was nice to see that come good for him, even though it was like 2 years later, probably, right? But still, that's kind of the process, and I guess. You know, the rest of it, again, Doug, is just continuing to tweak other opportunities. Like, I think, you know, he started working on his, you know, his composure, his patience, his angles around the basket. He was always really good around the basket, kind of crafty. That's kind of what he came out of college as, an around the basket, move it around, finish it with your athleticism guy. But he started, you know, really working on his footwork and his angles and that stuff. So. A really long answer, but there you go. There's some of it. Okay.
Fred and Kyle were just talking about stuff he's showing now that are counters to the way teams defend him. The stuff he works on all during the season and saves for this kind of moment. Is that?
Well, I think Doug, I think you have your kind of sweet spots and your go-to moves, and as long as you're getting to those, you're going to keep using them, right? And I think that as those get taken away, you realize, hey, teams are starting to do this to me. I better work on a counter move to that, and then you just kind of got to introduce them as the case or need be, right? So I think you're right. You start thinking, oh, geez, this team's doing this to me on this play or this move or whatever, so I better get something to go the other way. And I think, he's getting a lot of touches and a lot of opportunities, so he's getting a lot of practice on some of that stuff too.
How tough is it guarding Redick? Because if you get it off so quickly,
Yeah.
guys are up on him, but he runs all the time off screens.
Yeah.
How much of a concern, especially when he did in the third?
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I mean, listen, first of all, it's really tough, for a number of reasons. One is he's a great shooter. Two, like you mentioned, he's moving the whole possession, so it's like you can't ever relax, and you always got to be aware. Starts in transition because they'll find him a lot in transition, but he's also really physically strong, right? Like you get on him and he'll give you a shot one direction and be gone the other direction, right? And that's he created a few separations on those yesterday, and that's part of what a lot of the great shooters in this league do. Klay Thompson's the same. He'll give you a physical shot because his upper body's so strong, and then he'll be gone the other way and create just that much separation, and that's all they need. Yeah, we had to make some adjustments on him last night and get up with some other people and provide some help, and it's a problem.
It was Philadelphia's offensive rebound and troubling for you last night, or some of that the way the ball was bouncing?
Well, I think it was troubling. You're right. I think 10 in the first half is probably double what you probably want to give up, right? But they're very big. I gotta look on the bright side. If there's a lot of offensive rebounds, there must be a lot of missed shots a lot of times too. But I thought we did an overall job, a pretty good job of blocking out. I thought we leaked out a little bit on the perimeter, which we can't do, right? We've got to get as many hands and feet in the paint and around the elbows and et cetera to track those down, but it's certainly a concern.
Can you address the job that Danny Green and Pascal did on Jimmy Butler last night? It seemed like they were the two guys tasked with eliminating him primarily. He never seemed to really get into a rhythm the way that Jimmy can do.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they were good. They were again, physical with him. I think, again, trying to prevent any easy movement, any easy handoffs, any easy screen and rolls that we could, kind of keep his momentum flowing one direction. Did a good job of not sending him to the line too much. I know we fouled him on a 3 there late in the corner. He's really good at drawing fouls. So they did a good job, but I really think that was probably a little bit more a product of our team defense. I think that again, space is so critical for good offensive players, and I just don't. After watching the film, I thought we did a good job of not letting it look like there was a lot of one-on-one opportunities for him.
What kind of a luxury is it you're talking about, Pascal, having a player that will coach you during the postseason and say, I want to get better now?
Well, this guy he's trying to get better all the time, and I think that's been the key. I think I mentioned that last night in my third quarter interview. They asked me about Pascal. He's got 29 already, and I just said, well, he seems to be getting better every week, and I think that's part of his makeup. He's probably out there right now, or he was at some point today, trying to figure out a way to get a little bit better than he was yesterday, and that's a credit to him.
Yeah, these 6 games are really the first time you've had the same starters game after game after game all season. Was it tough?
It's making me uncomfortable.
Was it tough to wait until now to be able to just roll with this group, or did you have to trust that it would be like this?
Well, I think I don't know. It's not like it wasn't much I could do about it, right? I mean, all the things we were doing were planning for this time of year, first of all. Some of the injuries you can't really help, right? And I always just tried to, again, remain positive about, okay, this guy's out, but this gives another guy or two an opportunity, and let's see what it looks like this way. It may be something we need to, there may be a lineup back 2 months ago that we may be playing here in the future, and we ought to have some confidence that we can, maybe not click at all cylinders, but click at a pretty good clip anyway.
How is that kind of connectivity and knowing what you want to run in different situations? How's that coming along with these guys?
Well, I think it's a really key factor of how we're playing. I think first of all, defensively, there seems to be a lot of connectivity out there. And again, I keep saying that when Kawhi and Kyle are playing as hard as they can play, everybody that steps on the floor probably better play hard too. But I think there's a lot of, we're applying a lot of pressure, and sometimes that pressure, they'll release some things, or they'll run a pressure release play, but there's other guys there to cover it up, and then there's another cover up and things like that, and that's what team defense is, and that's what we're striving for. We'd like to be a up in your face team, and understand that these guys are good, and they're going to find other ways to try to get or to relieve pressure, but then that relies on the rest of your defense. And offensively, again, I think it's I think there's a lot of good combinations there, and those guys, we continue to grow those packages, because they are spending more time together, and they're figuring out different guys to do different things in similar looks, but they're not exactly the same, if that makes any sense.
Does it help that you have so many smart guys, right? Like so many guys with basketball IQ, like pretty much all the way through your starting lineup?
Yeah, that helps a lot. It does. They are a very, very experienced, very intelligent group.
Where do you see that, like in game to game, like extra level IQ?
Well, I think you see it not only game to game, but you see it on days like today. The film session is very well, it's meant to be an improvement time, and it's not us just telling them, right? It's them telling us, and us working together, and there's a lot of good ideas, and our coaching staff's ears are open, right? There's an exchange of ideas, because these guys have been through hundreds of games and lots of playoff runs and all those kind of things, so it's a real benefit.
Coach, yesterday Brett Brown was basically glowing, talking about the versatility you guys have on defense and all the weapons you have. As someone who's been around for a long time, I mean, do you sense how rare this group is here defensively?
I hope we can get to rare, right? I think we got the possibility to. I think there's some want to, right? I think with, again, I keep saying, well, we're going to find out if we're here to play tonight, if our defense is out and up in them, and they're starting to get up in them. I think there's always areas to polish and more effort areas. Again, I think a lot of defenses desire an effort, but I think this is a group that wants to, and I still think there's some room to grow there.